Good evening, all of you half-average people. Yes. So this is Michelle with Half the National Average, and I am calling you half-average because hopefully you are working little by little, 15 minutes at a time, to cut half the average of TV watching out of your life and do something productive. So if it's not TV watching, then maybe it's social media non-productiveness, or maybe it is gaming. Unless you're making money by doing it, you might want to cut some of that. There's a lot of people in the store that I'm training right now doing a lot of gamers. I love listening to gamers talk about their games. It's exciting, but it sounds like they spend a lot of time, and I'm not against it, but I just think that we should be doing other things too, diversifying our practice. So I wanted to talk about habit hack number 75, and it is very simply, everything is perishable. Everything is perishable. Even us, we're perishable. We are perishable. So when you have a skill, and how many people ride bikes like all the time, right? You ride it with no feet, no hands when you're a kid, no anything. And then you don't ride a bike for a long, long time, and they say, oh, it's just like riding a bike. But how many people, my mom's one of them, get on a bike and then crash because it's a perishable skill. Balance is perishable. Everything is perishable. So I just wanted to give just a shout out to some of the people that are working on things that are skills that and why it's important to practice every day, because it's perishable. So James Clear, he does his own like high quality, he doesn't call them habit hacks, but he wrote Atomic Habits, but he wrote it after his years and years and years after his weekly newsletter for habits. And he does like 3 quotes from himself, 1 quote from somebody else, and then like a thought. And so one of the quotes that he talked about this week, you can subscribe to him if you want, but and it's short too. It's not like a big pain to follow him, but he didn't talk about perishable skills, but he talked about why so many people do self-help. It's not because it's like rocket science. It's because we need the reminders. And that was one of the things that I was really proud of. My sister's working on some self-help stuff, and she's been listening to a lot of audiobooks, and that kind of has a negative connotation, actually. It's a little bit of a pejorative, like self-help, and what are you, some hippie guru? But self-help could be anything from just learning about neurological impulses and how you can use that to improve your life. That's self-help. So she's been working on that, and she's been doing habit hacks from the beginning, or she's been doing her habits and following the habit hacks from the beginning along with Melissa. They've both been doing exercise and stretching, and my sister Cindy's been doing listening to different books that are something that's entertaining and then something that helps her life. I also Hawaii Modern. I don't know if you guys saw the kind of interchange. I mean, I don't know. It's like all my very close friends like that are following this. So, but I DM'd him on the side. I'm like, hey, I haven't seen your progress on your weave. And if you look on Hawaii Modern and you see that progress of like 1 to 14, it's really amazing. And it's a perfect example of what happens when you practice something. I mean, what are you going to do anyway? Watch TV? Like I asked him how long it takes. I think he said the first one took like 6 hours, and then he's whittled it down to like 4 hours. But most people watch TV for 4.7 hours. So in the amount of time that most people in one night will watch TV, he's able to completely weave like an amazingly complicated chair. That's phenomenal. Bo is working on self-care, and I got to just briefly see her. She was driving down to San Diego, and thank you for stopping and using my bathroom. That was like the biggest pleasure ever, and getting tacos at my taco truck. But just hearing her talk about all of the practice that she's had, and she's like, at the beginning it was kind of a pain, but now it's just, she looks forward to it. And then my buddy Potter is actually working on both writing letters to people and then also writing his book. Chili's working on drinking water. I don't know what else he's working on. working out, I think, and guitar. Fight Club's working on guitar and stretching and strength. And Puka Lamb, I think she's working on just working. She's, I don't know if she's doing a really hot bag. But I wanted to share all this because why it's so important to practice every day. It's because it's the reminder that keeps us moving forward. You have to have a reminder. And a lot of times we think, well, if I'm just going to touch it, sometimes when I'm doing my habit, literally, because workout is one of mine, and I try to at least work out like 15 minutes a day. And sometimes I don't even do that. I'm just like, okay, I'm going to do 150 crunches and some push-ups. And that doesn't seem like a lot, maybe that doesn't seem like anything to you, but it's not so much that little 150 whatever that you're doing. It's the touching it. It's the frequency. What is going on? It's the chaos of the world. It's the frequency. So the frequency is actually going to create a reminder for the next day. So maybe the next day is 5 hours or 3 hours or 1 hour, whatever it is. So it's the reminder that you're trying to do because we're easily distracted. Remember the habit hack I told you? Our brains are like a Prius. We are a Prius. We're constantly trying to go in automated mode. So we're in automated pilot. We're just constantly trying to not think, not work, not use glucose. So we have to pull ourselves out of the basal ganglia that throws us into autopilot and everyday practice if we're going to get better at something. And sometimes you're just touching it. And that touching it is, if you want to just habit hack number 75, that touching it, even if it's just barely doing it for 1/10 of the amount of time that you normally would do it, consider that touching it just making it a reminder for that day so that you can, it's not perishable, because when you touch it, it is continuing to grow. That sounds really creepy. When you touch it, it begins. Okay, so let me stop. Let me stop right now. I'm tired. Okay, so what am I giving away today? Well, Michelle, let me tell you. It's this great, okay, so this is what I'm wearing. Okay, oh, my hair's a wreck. Oh, look at this. I wear hats all day. It's like, that's why I always wear a hat, because I wear hats all day and my like crazy hair. Anyway, this is what I'm giving away. It's a beautiful scarf. I'm almost not wanting to give this away, but I'm like running out of things to give away. And it's like a beautiful little scarf that is really good for your head, but also if you're chilly. I always use like just a rubber band to hold it on, but that is yours if you join this project and you touch something every day that you want to get better at, because come join this project. Oh, look at, that's it. It's getting late. I'm trying to go to sleep. All right, you guys. Oh, look at Lade. Look like a little nun now. I know. I'm crazy. Have a great night, and I hope to talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.